Hi, welcome back to Beyond the Closet with Tamara. If you're a South Indian sari enthusiast, there is no way that you'd have missed this brand on Instagram. Here we have today with us Madhulika from Margari Designs.
And Margari was born out of survival. So it's completely pure survival creation. I have more labels than any college degree right now. I wanted people like me to relate to this and be seen, and just a space because these labels don't represent me. You know, I see a lot of sari brands because when I started, there was very few. The daughter follows me, the daughter's mother follows me, the daughter's mother-in-law follows me, and there are men who write to me saying that my wife loves the sari.
Hi, welcome to the show. So first of all, Margari Design has this iconic shot, like without your face. We just know that the picture is from, your brand, and how did you achieve that signature shot and such a identity for your brand?
It was not as planned as people might think it is. I was just as clueless as I was when I started the brand. I just went along. It's a journey. In focus, I just wanted to focus on what was made, what was curated by me. And if I cropped off my face, I thought it gave more room to just focus on the styling. So that's about it. It was just trial and error basis.
I think we have a lot of fans and replicas for that particular shot itself.
It does the job, no? So yeah.
Do you maintain your body for Margari, or what is your routine like for apart from your saris?
I would be lying if I said no, because yes, Margari has become an integral part and identity of who I am. But that's not all me, There's a lot more work that goes behind maintaining a body per se. It's more how I feel, and that's what reflects in what you see. It's got a little weightage, but that's not the reason why I do. It's not to look a certain way. More than that, it's how I feel.
So there's a lot of course, saris, there's a lot of styling, there's some fun, lots of vibing in Instagram. So what is Instagram to you?
I think there are two different profiles. So my profile is more real, more me, more goofy, more crazy that I am, the energy that I hold. Margari is more the serious side of me, what I'm capable of, and also how my neurodivergent brain can lead to giving out such a impact, creating something more beautiful than just a disorder.
Your Insta bio says emotionally complex human, neurodivergent soul, BPD, AVPD, ADHD. I mean, I don't even know what all of this means. My CPU can't process this. What is this?
I think I have more labels than any college degree right now. I think these are not labels that I just carry, for the sake of it, sympathy or attention. These are very deep diagnoses that reflects how my brain functions. And this diagnosis really helped me understand myself better. It gave me a context to understand who I really am. Disorder is not technically bad in my case, because the aesthetics that people can see and identify with was shaped by these diagnoses. And it got out so much out of me that somewhere I wanted people to relate to me and be seen. It's very difficult to understand because our brains work very differently from how the society expects normalcy from people in general. I wanted people like me to relate to this and be seen, and just a space because these labels don't represent me. It's just a part of me.
So these have helped you shape the brand that is today?
Of course. I recognize these patterns and I am diagnosed with these labels because of extreme trauma. And growing up, I did not have a safe space, and Margari was born out of survival. So it's completely pure survival creation. Transform that into something more beautiful and meaningful and very well intended is the present.
How did that happen for us? So 10 years? Is it
10 years, yeah.
What was that spark? When did it happen?
I have done jobs back and forth, and it was just the typical 9 to 5 jobs. But I was not somewhere very content with it because there was a lot of energy that I felt could be put to use to something else. And I've always been drawn to art and creating. And what I create now has more of me in a positive light. I wanted to do something, and things worked for me.
In terms of business and reach, what do you think of Instagram now? Back when we started, to now, how is it different? What are the struggles that you're facing today?
I think I wouldn't say struggles now. Touch wood, I'm comfortable with the way things have panned out. But it was not a struggle even early on, because we were all so
Just enjoying it.
yeah, we were just going. I am someone who's always spontaneous, you know. I live in the moment, so that had very less of pressure on me. I had pressures more like how am I going to sustain it, but it is not the platform by itself. And Instagram and social media right now, TikTok and so many other social media apps are so great for businesses. You know, the more I read about it, I feel it's only helped a lot of small scale business owners, especially women. You know, I see a lot of sari brands because when I started, there was very few, and they also had good backing. They came with a clear vision and they know what they were doing. At least that's how it looked for me. I feel it's a great platform for people like us to explore opportunities in business.
I was just looking into it, and there are like almost like 18,000 verified sari selling accounts on Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah, this is probably from India, right? How do you look at that? I mean, do you ever feel, do you ever doubt, your business, or how do you have that strength and courage every single morning?
I don't doubt Margery, but I doubt myself several times. I have. And that comes because of BPD, because when you have borderline personality disorder, questioning yourself is something every day, I end up challenging myself as to why you're doing this. And there were days I've just even decided I'm going to just shut everything down and just do something else. When after diagnosis, this is before I was diagnosed, and I couldn't understand why I was behaving a certain way because there's so much weightage on how I feel, and it's all about how I feel. And Margery is more to feeling. It's not about content or saris. It's more to do with an aesthetic which comes pure regulated by my feelings. So I used my BPD to bring out something beautiful onto this, which again also clearly helps me understand that I'm not part of a race. It's just purely me existing wholly, which by creating something that helps me regulate. So I regulate through colors. And so that's what you see as Margery.
To even feel that not to be part of the race is something why I feel Margery is really standing out, in terms of aesthetics. And what I love about Margery is the aesthetics that it brings out. It's just so nice, therapeutic. You just see the page. It's so beautiful, the colors and the combinations. How have you really nailed that aesthetics, which a lot of even big brands are not able to do today?
Thank you so much, honestly, because I sometimes say ignorance is bliss. No, I stay away from what people think about my work most times. I wouldn't know. There is no way where I'm putting myself out there to know what people think of me. The only way I understand is I create something, and when it's received well, which is through sales or just messages or emails mostly, my validation comes like that, and I understand it. It's just very silently understood. It's just that. But when you speak about aesthetics, again, my BPD brain kicks in. It does not let me take credit for it. But again, it's completely influenced by my mental health. And when I say mental health, I'm not saying everybody who's good at something should have a check on their mental health. What I put out is something that my brain loves doing. It's just me, again, like I said, I love colors. I cannot be around spaces that has no color. The environment has to have colors around it, and through that I regulate, and then that gives me calmness. So imagine that's just part of my life. So this is something that I do to feel normal. I don't know how to explain how I get aesthetics or how I do it. It's just that I do it by just simply living my whole self.
So you've beautifully sustained your aesthetics, over the years, and it still looks so beautiful. Do you ever think, does it connect with the Gen Z audience, or are they loving it? Or do you know your target audience, or you're just doing like what you love to do?
I think target audience, the daughter follows me, the daughter's mother follows me, the daughter's mother-in-law follows me. And there are men who write to me saying that my wife loves the sari, my girlfriend, I'm planning to, surprise her with a present. And so there are all sorts of people. For me, I don't have a target audience as such, but I create and curate looks just for colors and the saris. That's it. It's not that I'm only doing it for certain age groups. It's just beyond that.
So is there like a personal favorite from the many collections that you worked on over the years?
Owl, there's a series that I did, Owl, with Susha. Okay. And that there's this one particular sari which is nice orange with green borders, which I worked, and I think that sari will always be my favorite because that was the most difficult phase of my life. Okay. And why I like it is not because it was difficult. It's because I was able to create so nice, I mean, such a beautiful piece, and it is received so nicely by the audience, which always stays as, okay, if there is something that I've done, I'd feel good. When I look at it, I feel like there is somewhere that Kutti artist, side of me which reflects in that picture.
I'm curious to see. I want to take a look at that picture. In the business point of view, like pre-COVID, and then there was a COVID lockdown, and then now post-COVID where there's in basic e-commerce blast. Okay, so how has it been for you, like in terms of business for a sari brand?
Pre-COVID, I would only focus on the main, and I was not thinking on expanding as much. During COVID, I completely stopped. I did not make any sales. I was mostly taking a break from Margery. And then post-COVID, I think now the audience have remained the same. Through all this, as I'm talking to you is when I'm also realizing that they've always stayed so loyal and supportive of all the stages of my life. Now I think I'm bringing the best side of myself and my ability, and I still receive the same love and affection.
On a personal front, there's always a lot of curiosity about Madhulika's life. I mean, does she live alone? She's like, indoors. We see her a lot on Instagram, but not so much outside. And so what is your life like? And I know that even post-COVID, you're living the lockdown life, but...
No, I have always lived a lockdown life.
Even before COVID.
Even before. It was only for them, the public, it's all new. But for me, I was just so happy. I was just living my life. And it was difficult once after the lockdown was lifted because everybody went back to being normal. And then they were like, hey,
this girl's still stuck.
I'm like, no, this is my life. This is how I live. Introverts, most times, I speak for myself. I'm an extremely introverted person. Since I've lost a lot of my childhood to a lot of things that ideal living, childhood wasn't there for me. So I now take that opportunity to live my life the way I want to, but otherwise there's no secret as such. It's just choice, purely choice to just have peace first.
Okay, so one final question. So what's a decade of Margery? What's coming next? Anything that's we should know?
Really interesting projects are coming. I want to make Margery aesthetic more accessible for all categories and not be just exclusive. So I planned on those lines to launch something new. So let's see. I'm really excited about that.
Super. Even we are very, very excited. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for your time. And I had a great time talking to you. Thank you, Madhu.
You made me come here. Thanks, Divya. I don't know how I did it, but thanks to you.
Thank you so much. Based on your suggestions, this week we had some fashion entrepreneurs at Beyond the Closet with Tamara. We're looking forward to giving you more fashion related content like this. Please do comment and let us know who you would like our next guest to be. Thank you so much for watching.